back in here for the meal. Back in with your boy Devo here. We've got a little meal here and so forth. You know, and the meal is coming through, man. So, Champions League, man. This is how I see things, and then tell me what you think. I feel that Bayern Munich are still that big bad bully in the playground that will pretty much punch you in the stomach if you've got freckles or you've got like one of those massive bags. And, you know, I remember there was a guy I knew in school who every single book he had for every lesson he had in his one Asquith. Hopefully he would have been, but I remember Asquith. He had every single book in his bag and he never said a word. I was frightened of it because he never said anything. So shout out to my man, Asquith man, legend man. So I believe Bayern are the big bad bully still. And here's my thing. I'm gonna because look, I would say the pink pelican in the room is Man City, because my view is that Man City will not win this Champions League because I just feel that Pochettino is the wrong guy for these dudes, and this kind
PSG.
of dream.
PSG.
Oh, so PSG. Yeah. So it's the wrong guys for PSG, and I think that this whole thing of Messi thingy, I don't think is really going to come into fruition. So, do you think that PSG are just going to win it because, hey, they've got the best players? Or football is slightly much more complicated. Once they come up against a Tuchel, a Nagelsmann, or even a Pep, they'll get shown up.
Really and truly, they should win it. Not because they have all these superstars, but because signings like a Sergio Ramos, we haven't seen him yet in a PSG.
Yeah.
But Sergio Ramos knows what it takes to win the Champions League more than anyone else.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think if you could play Sergio Ramos and Marquinhos as your centre-backs in the Champions League, anything that gets Kimpembe out of the way, basically, because for me, Kimpembe is a liability.
You know, I blame him for Kante not winning that Euros.
I don't trust Kimpembe. So anything that gets him out of the way, I think Donnarumma is just an octopus in goal. So I think that those two signings, more than anything, Donnarumma and Sergio Ramos, would be the reason why they could win the Champions League, more so than even a Messi, because PSG were going to score goals anyway.
Yeah.
Neymar, Mbappe, Icardi, Di Maria, these guys are going to get you goals anyway.
Yeah.
It's the other end where I think PSG would suffer.
And that's how they got against Man City, where just that defensive kind of stability of, okay, wall is good, everyone be aware, boom, boom, boom. That's led because they were winning 1-0, 2-1, game then change. But don't you think Pochettino is an issue? Because I still think that even if you have all these individual players, you still need a strategy rather than just relying on these individuals to get you. Because look, for as amazing as Emerson was, Luis Enrique still had a strategy as to how I want these guys to work and how I want the midfield to operate. So do you still think that Pochettino has the tactical nous and knowledge in that quarter, in that semi, to still strategically over two legs?
No, I don't. I think Pochettino's role, more than anything else, is to get the defence stable.
Yeah.
And so far this season in Liga, they haven't looked great defensively.
Yeah.
Get that sorted out. I think Sergio Ramos coming in will fix that, will help that.
Yeah.
And then get that midfield working functionally. You want the midfield to be like Liverpool's midfield.
Yeah.
Like I know Verratti's a very good player. He hasn't played at all this season, but
Marco,
Ronaldo, Herrera, Danilo, whoever you put in that midfield, all they have to do is win the ball back.
Yeah.
And then get the ball to Hakimi or Nuno Mendes on the other side, Messi, whoever.
Hakimi scored freaking two goals last
Hakimi
game.
is a force of nature on the right side.
The guy's ridiculous. He's like a striker.
He's that whole side.
Yeah.
He's the kind of fullback where you just say, look, whoever's playing ahead of me, you can cut inside and cause mayhem and overload inside. Yeah. I'll bomb on past you. Don't worry if we lose the ball, I'll get back. Hakimi is that. He's got that kind of motor. The Ashley Cole, I call it.
Let's look at the Premier League teams before we go. Is it still a case of let's go again Man City, or do you think that Chelsea could defend their title? And do you really believe that Cristiano could do the unthinkable? Which is the freaking unthinkable.
I don't like to bash.
And also, let's not look past Liverpool.
See,
Let's not look past Liverpool.
Let's start. I'll start with Man United.
Yeah.
I don't like to bash Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because I actually think he's done a decent job. But
because he scored a goal in 1999.
limited.
Oof.
He's very limited, and I think Man United aren't going to win no Champions League while Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the manager. They have the right players in place in certain places. I think they're a defensive midfielder away from having a complete side.
They have the goal scorer.
Yeah, I don't think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is good. Although usually Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does well in the big games. Usually we have to give him his props. He does well in the big matches. He usually gets it right. I don't think he's got enough about him to get them to a Champions League title. Man City, they've got everything in place to be the best side in Europe. I don't know. I think Pep is what holds them back because he does these little mad ones. Where he just tries something new and you're like, just stick to what got you here.
Yeah.
Stick to it. And pick the right team. As long as Pep picks the right team, then Man City can go to the final again.
Pep is always going to get in his way. That final, Chelsea boys Chelsea, Pep lost that final.
Yeah.
Yes, Chelsea won it, but it's also written down that Pep lost because Pep always likes to get in his own way because he always wants to overthink.
Yeah.
And so forth.
Yeah. As for Liverpool could beat absolutely anyone on their day. The issue is that they're very dependent on Salah. It used to be Salah and Mane. Mane's fallen off. It's just Salah now. Salah picks up an injury. Have they got enough about them?
Are you sleeping on Jota?
I like Jota. I said this.
Yeah.
I remember having the conversation with Neeks on the dugout where I said he's a bargain. 50 million is a bargain.
Yeah.
And Neeks disagreed with me, but I honestly think that is a bargain for someone at his age and what impact he can have for Liverpool. I think that's a great signing. But he's not going to give you Salah numbers. If Salah gets injured for any period of time, I think Liverpool are in desperate trouble. I think they've got back to their defence. I don't think they conceded many goals this season. They've got back to that solidity that they had before. But I think they're a Salah injury away from being not a very good side.
So, dipping into Italy right now, it's amazing to see AC Milan.
Chelsea. You forgot Chelsea. I think Chelsea should be favourites for the league, for sure. For sure. I think Chelsea picking up Lukaku, I wouldn't bet against them holding, because I think Tuchel
Someone needs to create for this dude. And also remember, it's always harder to defend your title. It's always harder to defend your title.
But Tuchel has the defensive side down. You don't concede goals, you're not going to lose. You got Lukaku in there instead of Werner now, so you might not need to create as many chances as you want, as you would have needed last season.
Yeah.
Lukaku will bag you goals, and I think Chelsea are a very dangerous outfit for anyone in Europe because they can change their style of play to suit who they're playing against. Not Liverpool won't do that. Man City won't do that. Man United won't necessarily do that. Chelsea are chameleon.
You see, here's the thing though, because I look at who defended their title, and it was Real Madrid. Yeah. And how did they defend their title? It was by pretty much outplaying the opponent. So I think defenses work for league titles. Knockout competition.
That's exactly what won the Champions League for Chelsea.
No,
they didn't concede a goal.
No. But I'm talking about if you have a strong defense, you can win it and defend it over multiple times. Yeah. There's only been one team who defended their title and they did twice. It was Real Madrid, and they did it by we're going to outplay you. We're coming out to really play. So it's going to be interesting if the same defense, because I think the thing about it was that Chelsea have a very particular setup and way of playing. It's similar to tiki-taka. Once you figure it out, boom. The thing about Real Madrid is that they didn't have a particular way. They were chameleons. Yeah. So there wasn't a way to plan for that team because they could possession, they could go defense, they could go counter-attack, they could go all-out attack. So they just chopped and changed based on the game that they were playing in.
Weapons.
Way too many weapons. And way too many individuals Modric, who can just Benzema, Bale, they could just snap and just say what's up. So look, Chelsea have this team, this squadron, and so forth. Just that, I know it's won a game, but that Villa game just had me worried. That these were Villa's kids. Yeah. And your kids could do it, and you have to basically bring on your weapons to sort of beat them, and you still couldn't beat them when you brought on your weapons. So my thing is, because I question of like, hey, how good is this Chelsea squad really? So, so briefly, Italy, AC Milan, Inter Milan. How far do they go? Because my thing, if Inter make it through the group, Conte is looking really funny in the light. if Inzaghi makes them go through the group in his
Who,
first season.
who's in Inter's group?
It's Shakhtar Donetsk, the Sheriff of Nottingham,
yeah.
and Real Madrid.
Well, I mean, they should get through the group. They should. I know
That's what they said last year for this group.
I wouldn't fear Inter going deep into this competition, to be honest. I don't think any of the Italian sides are necessarily that stronger than they were last season. So I wouldn't worry about them really troubling the deeper rounds. But Inter should get through. I mean, Shakhtar on their day are very tricky customers.
Yeah.
I was surprised they lost to Sheriff. I was shocked by that.
Sheriff are good.
Yeah,
I was watching some of the games. Sheriff have a guy called Cristiano. I don't know if it's his cousin or something, but they have a dude called Cristiano.
Yeah, I was shocked by that because Shakhtar are usually very, very good. But they'll trouble anyone in Ukraine. It's generally where they're strongest. So if Inter get through that game, then they're through the group.
Spain, who now have 5 teams, because obviously Villarreal won the Europa League.
Well, Spanish teams in Europe, they do well. It's what they do.
Yes, they do. But in terms of a realistic chance of winning it, I think it's Real Madrid, but I don't think they will. I think Barcelona have to sort out their own La Liga points. I always felt that Atletico, their best chance was 2014 and they fumbled the bag. Villarreal are a Europa League team. Sevilla are essentially a Europa League team.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Real Madrid could go on and win it. I think Real Madrid are good enough. Ancelotti knows what he's doing. You know, Ancelotti's probably, when everyone talks of the greatest managers of all time, I feel like Ancelotti gets disrespected because he's not.
No, he's that good.
He's not brought up enough for what he's done. And I think Real Madrid have weapons once again. Asensio looks like he's coming back to form.
Yeah, he's balling.
So yeah, I think Real Madrid will go deep. As I said, I don't think Barcelona will necessarily do much for the Real. Atletico, I don't know. They're a very hard side to kind of predict. You don't know what they're going to do from game. So one day they're like, you know, you're not going to score against them in 3 or 4 days worth of football, and then other times they just look like they don't even want to score.
Yeah, no. For me, I just for Atletico, I just think they flattered to deceive. So I'm like, no.
I'd like to see him win it. I'd like Diego Simeone to get that Champions League because I think he's done a brilliant job. Based on what he's had towards him, he's done a very good job. I still think he's slightly overrated, but I just think that 2014, 26, that was because you had them. Yeah. And you don't get those opportunities so many times in the Champions League, man. Yeah. Any surprise team? A team that could really surprise P? No, to be honest. I think...
So I think Dortmund can't...
Nah.
If Haaland...
Dortmund can't defend. That's the problem. And the thing is Dortmund will come up against a team and try and go blow for blow against like a Liverpool or something.
Yeah.
And Liverpool will say, okay, yeah, we can do that. You know, Anfield, we'll go blow for blow, 4-3 Liverpool. You know, or they'll come up against Bayern or something at some stage and get ratted because Bayern always just bully Dortmund. That's what it's like. It's literally school ground bullying with Dortmund. So
I mean, if you are leaning towards, I know it's early to say, but it's always early to say, but we might as well just look at where we are right now. Like, if you're looking towards a team that you think is probably going to win it, because my thing is, I would like to say, okay, if it's a perfect scenario where nobody is injured, because I will say this again, and PSG fans will like me saying this. If Bayern Munich were fully fit, they beat PSG. Yeah. They were 1 goal away from knocking them out without Gnabry, Goretzka, and Lewandowski. So my thing is, Bayern fully fit, I'm not sure who can beat them. Yeah. Anything can happen, and so remember, there are no away goals and so forth, so it's really just 2 legs. But I think that if Bayern have no injuries, they're going to be a problem because they have too many weapons. Because see, Bayern always run into Real Madrid, and I think there was a whole bunch of years where Bayern always got knocked out by the eventual winners. So now that Barca thing is out, the Real Madrid thing with Cristiano is out. I believe Bayern beats PSG if they're at full strength. So my thing is, at full strength, I mean, if Chelsea run into Bayern, it's a long night.
Yeah. I for me, the favourites, Bayern will always be in my list of favourites. At the beginning of every season, I say Bayern. Bayern, Real Madrid, Chelsea, PSG. Those are my 4 favourites.
You still say PSG?
I still say PSG, just because you've got Messi, you've got Neymar, you've got Mbappe. You have to be amongst the favourites. You have to. But as I said, the key for me is Sergio Ramos and Donnarumma. I think Navas is a world-class goalkeeper.
Yeah.
But I think Donnarumma has that presence in goal.
Yeah.
Where you come into the game thinking, right, how do we score past this guy? He's like 8'9". You know what I mean? He's a world-class goalkeeper. I think Sergio Ramos just brings that mentality.
I just think my issue with PSG is, because you saw it with the Galacticos and so forth, is because there's just so much talent, there may just be a tendency of, they'll just figure it out. And also you have to say to yourself that Neymar may be a much more well-rounded player now that he is, but is Neymar as effective now as it was at Barcelona?
No, he's not. I think Neymar is... Well, it's a tricky one with Neymar because he's still a very good player.
He's just not...
I think the expectations that everyone has of him is so high that we're always disappointed. But he still does what he needs to do.
He's still an amazing player. He's an amazing player.
I wouldn't say he's as important to PSG as Di Maria, though. I think Di Maria is more important to PSG than what Neymar is. But you put a Neymar with a Messi and an Mbappe, the amount of attention you're going to have to give to a Messi or Mbappe will allow Neymar space. Or if you pay attention to him, that will give space. They could kill you from all over the place. So they have to be amongst the favourites. Have to.
But my thing is that they have to have chemistry.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And you have to just say that, will they be able to have the chemistry to be able to know, okay, this is work? Because I think what made MSN so good was their understanding and their chemistry and how they were able to read each other's plays and so forth. So my thing is whether these guys will be able to reach each other's plays and so forth. Because if they combine well, it's game over. Mm-hmm. It's game over. But my thing is do you think that they will combine as well as MSN did in 2015?
No. And I've already seen glimpses of it this season because obviously I do the Liga show on MAD Sports Network. You can find it every Tuesday on 7 p.m.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mbappe is playing very selfishly this season. I've seen many incidents where there's one with Rafinha the other night. All he had to do was square it across and it's a tap in. He's gone for goal and missed. And he didn't even look at Rafinha to say sorry. He just missed, carried on. And I don't know if it's to do with his contract situation, him wanting to leave, if he's now trying to prove that he's the guy, I'm the guy. You know, it's not Messi, it's me. I wonder if that's a situation that might develop, but I notice he's playing very selfishly this season.
And that could be an issue because I think that a very key thing about these things working is your relationships. Mm-hmm. Messi, Neymar, and Carlos Suarez were really good friends.
Yeah.
Messi and Neymar are still really good friends. Mm-hmm. Mbappe, I was just saw in the summer, I'm the big dog now. Mm-hmm. And I respect Messi and what he's done, but I'm here to take his throne. So I am not here to be like, hey, I'm part of the 3 and I'm here to... Because I think PSG made it very obvious that Messi is the guy and Mbappe isn't like that. So my thing is, and especially in the Champions League, you need to be a team. Yeah. As good as that Real Madrid crew was and the time they had, Zidane ensured that we have a team ethos to go through. So my thing is kind of Pochettino have the managerial skills to be like, ego, come together, team.
Great, good, yeah. It's yet to be seen. I do fear for Pochettino because it's a bit of a poison chalice. You win, it's because look at this array of talent you got. You lose, how do you lose with all this talent? Yeah. It's a bit of a double-edged sword for him. And I do think he's not... I don't think he's the right guy.
He's not. He's not.
When you got players of that ilk, you need a strong character with a strong CV. Not to say he can't be successful with them, but
I think he doesn't. like if you had like a Zidane or someone in there, like you need someone with a strong character who people can respect, especially the egos in line. So just to round it off, you're saying Bayern?
Bayern always every season for the last 5 or 6 years I've said Bayern, one of my favourites. But I think it's between Bayern, Real Madrid, Chelsea, PSG. They're my 4. If I had to stick my neck out on the line, Bayern Munich.
Which final would you most like to see?
Bayern PSG.
Why not Chelsea?
I don't want Chelsea anywhere near that final. I'm tired of Chelsea's success.